Hey guys, I am back, and we're going to spend another late night together. Isn't that nice? So tonight we're going to take a look at something that initially, if I had just browsing, would not have thought that maybe it would even be something I'd want to look at, but after checking out some of the reviews and some of the specs and taking kind of a closer look at it online, I thought it might just be something I want to take a look at. And I'll explain why as we go. So this is by StatGear. This is the Slinger. They make another knife that we're going to look at too. But the thing about the Slinger, when I first looked at it and I was like, I'm not so sure, it's kind of small. It is kind of small. But as I was taking more of a look at it, again, the specs, the stats, and the reviews on, I said, you know, I really would like to take a look at that little guy. So what's really cool is right here on the back, they put all the specs that I would normally put. So I can just show you that right off the bat right there, plus a little extra, which is cool. And we'll get right into this. Okay. Little guy, right? I know, not normally my thing. So nice packaging, number one. You know how I feel about nice packaging. One of the things that I kept reading over and over is that value-wise, it's a really good, like, small knife to have, especially if you live in a place where you can't carry a big blade, if you are just not in a mode to carry a larger EDC blade, or for people that want to have just like a small kind of backup blade, maybe something to complement their main blade. I've saw that a lot of people like this for the kind of the value to price ratio of it, and I really wanted to check it out. Now it comes in different color options. This is kind of the one that I chose because I like these options. And why? Well, I'll be honest. It reminds me of the old Air Force colors of ultramarine blue and Air Force yellow. Those are the official colors of the United States Air Force. It is pretty light. Number one. I mean, light. But then again, heavy enough. You know, I know you see me keep moving my fingers around here. There's a finish on this the coating on the handle. I don't know what the coating is, but it gives it almost a little bit of a grippy feel. Like I keep talking about a coating that we use at the shop called Soft Touch. And it's one of those things I cannot describe unless you touch it. It feels really nice. It's not rough, and it's not super like glass slick. It's just enough there to let you know that you're holding on to it. It's a really nice coating. I really like it. I don't know how to describe it to you if you haven't touched it. But it's there. And it's different from the metal on the blade. The metal on the blade is just that slick metal feel. There's really a feeling, and it's on the hardware too, whatever the coating itself is. But anyway, okay, so let's get back to the knife. Lightweight, stainless steel frame, D2 blade, centering out of the box, perfect. Fit and finish, looks very nice. It's a very simplistic knife. You have your front side, you have your Framelock side, you have a clip that is basically almost the size of the knife, a couple of frame screws on your pivot, and that is about it. Barrel spacers. So it's almost kind of like no frills, but in a nice package, you know. One thing I'm not a huge fan of, like from the outset right here, is the clip mounts over the pivot. If you want to mess with it, take the pivot out or whatever, you have to take the clip off to do that. Not sure why you'd want to take the pivot out, I'm just saying if you do. You can definitely adjust the pivot without taking the clip out. Just one thing, you know, off the top of my head I noticed. But, as you can see, right hand, tip down only, so no soup for you, if you like it any other way. However, the clip is in a great position with these little knives. One of the things that drives me crazy is, you know, with my big hands, and some of you might know what I'm going to get at here, where when you're trying to open it, there's no real estate to put your fingers anywhere except clamping down on that lock bar. So when you're, you know, trying to open it with a flipper, you're actually pressing down on the lock bar and you're holding it closed and having a hard time. The positioning of this clip is great because that's where your finger goes, which means you're not accidentally pushing the lock bar down, you know, making it harder for you to open the knife. So that's actually pretty slick engineering, I guess, when you look at it. Good design there, especially on a knife this small. Now, if they'd put it the other way, I'm more of a tip-up fan, but if you think about it, really smart engineering, because if they'd put it the other way with the end of the clip, you'd be putting that pressure right down there where the lock sits in the detent, and that would be all kinds of bad. So yeah, actually, good on you guys, StatGear. Nice work there. Nice thinking. Let's go ahead and open the blade up. Nice. Nice, especially for one of these small knives. Excellent. D10, excellent. Action. So you can see right there, D2 steel, we said that in the beginning. Let's talk about that for a second. There's a lot of people that are really put off by D2 steel these days on knives. And I'm not really sure why. My first big experience with D2 was on the Benchmade Adamas. And I know that's how you pronounce it now because I heard an actual Benchmade employee say that. So D2, yes, it is prone to corrosion. It will rust if you don't take care of it. And taking care of it is not that hard. Giving it a nice stonewash finish like this actually increases its corrosion resistance a little bit than leaving it just bare satin finish. But D2 as a steel, it has excellent hardness. It has excellent edge retention qualities. It's a great steel, in my opinion. And you know, when you work with it before it's gone through its hardening, excellent to work with. It hardens very nicely. I think it makes a great knife blade. I really like D2. Now, the price of D2 has come down since it first started to get, you know, big in the blade world, which makes it very accessible for a lot of lower cost knives. I don't know if that's why it's fallen out of favor with some people, because it's become more of a, you know, for lack of a better word, common steel these days. But D2 used to be considered a really premium steel. I think it's really a great steel still. I think there's a lot of people that would rather give just a little bit of TLC and a wipe down now and then to their blade than have to worry about sharpening it all the time. And that's one of the things that D2 will do for you. On a little blade like this especially, you know, it's not that hard to maintain this steel. Give it a little wipe down, keep it clean. You're not talking about a giant blade to work with rather than having to sharpen it over and over and over. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I don't know. I actually kind of like this little guy. Now, small knives, never been my thing. You know, small knives do have a function, a time and a place. And I think that if, you know, you're in the market for one, I do like this one, which is why I ended up deciding I was going to check it out. There's something about it that spoke to me. Now, I know some of you are thinking, and somebody's going to bring up, but wait a minute, you hounded the Battle Box Knife of the Month so much for being such a small knife. And I kind of was anticipating that coming up. I said if I say something good about this knife, somebody's going to bring that up. So guess what? Here it is. I brought it out here, not to mention it by name or anything, but just to show you, you know, so we could compare it, because I had already looked at numbers and stuff, so I knew some of the rough differences. Number one is price. There is a huge price difference. Now, I know that some of that price difference is for materials. True. But thinking about a knife like this and what you're going to use it for, do you really need to pay for the difference in those materials? Now, if you're buying it as a collection queen, sure, okay, great. But if you're buying it as something to carry EDC-wise, or you're buying it as a backup or something to throw in the glove compartment or the tackle box or something, I don't know if you need to spend that much money on the materials that you're getting based on what comes here. I don't know. The main thing, though, that really drove me crazy about this was the price and value to size. Now, yes, it's a small knife. This is a small knife, but, well, that's faith-inspiring right there, too, huh? There you go. Even though they're both small knives, look at the difference. Now, you might not think it's that big a difference looking at it, but when you put it in a hand, and I'm using my left hand a lot in this video just so you can get a better view in the camera without my hand actually blocking everything out. Take a look at how much my hand has to grab onto here versus here. It is really a big difference. And with the weight, if I let go just a little bit, it wants to fall right out of my hand. I can put this one in there, and I can let it go for a second. I don't have to grip it tight every single second, and I'm not worried about it toppling right out of my hand. Whereas this one, if I want to hold it naturally, look at it. It starts to go every single time if I don't stop and catch it. Looking pivot to pivot, you have a shorter blade and a shorter handle. So, you know, it's not that I was all against a short knife. I'm against a knife that is this short, even though, yeah, they put this, you know, premium steel and titanium handle in there. I think you can get the job done with materials that are not as premium, okay? Stainless steel handle with a beautiful coating. A D2 blade as opposed to S35 VN. But you know what? These materials, while maybe not as fancy to some people, are sized to get more work done and be more comfortable and functional in my hand than this $120 piece. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like this one, and I went on such a rant about this one in the unboxing. And, you know, I feel like I gotta compare the two, because I'm just waiting for the comment where somebody's gonna say, but you were so against the knife of the month because it was small. It's not because it is small, it's because it is so tiny. And this one just seems to be such a good size in your hand for people that want a small, light blade. It's a little less than an ounce lighter. I think this is about 1.6 ounces. This is 2.2. But again, you're also getting more knife for it. So I think it's a great option for when you're looking for that smaller knife, whether it's knife laws you have to satisfy, whether it's just the size or the weight you're looking for. But you know what? We've been looking at it externally so far. There's a couple things we haven't really checked out yet, right? So let's take a look at the lock up there. Okay, let's do our standard tests. Lock up. Doesn't look like it's really moved much. No stickiness. Didn't hear any noise. No movement on the blade at all. No blade play whatsoever after doing our lock test. Still just as smooth. Ooh, that is nice. That is a well-finished edge. That is like slicing through just air and nothing else. Let's see. Even the pull-through, and I was worried because, you know, little bit of leverage, little knife, pull-through test goes right through. And a slice. I mean, can you even see the blade move with the slice? Nothing. Great little blade for utility use, for EDC use, whatever. I had a feeling about this when I first saw it, that it was going to be nice. I'm glad I decided to check it out. Awesome. So, anyway, I think that StatGear does make some cool stuff. I'm going to check out some more. I'm glad I gave it a shot. I'm glad I moved out of my comfort zone a little bit of the larger blades, the 3.5 inch to 4 inch blades, and gave this guy a shot. A lot of times it's just about how the knife performs, and I mean, this thing performs, in my opinion. A stock's opinion. You don't have to agree. I really like this little guy, though. So what I'm going to do now, like I always do, I'm going to carry it around. I'm going to take it to the shop. I'm especially going to use it in the shop, you know, for all the tasks that we do there. And if anything crazy or unexpected pops up, of course you guys will hear about it. But now is the time for you to weigh in with your opinions on this. Something you would carry, something you'd be interested in. What do you think? And, you know, as a related side note, if you like D2 steel, why do you like D2? And if you don't like D2, why don't you like D2? I'm really curious to know. But, nice little offering there from StatGear. Anyway, guys, as always, I appreciate every single one of you. You are all absolutely awesome. And I'll be back again with another cool toy real soon.